Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Man, a lot's going on the past week. I'm finishing up with a cold. A little bit of coughing left, but otherwise we're pretty good to the final stages of it now. Didn't really get a chance to get online and look at any of the stuff, pick up any new CDs or anything like that. And geez, a whole lot's been going on. Actually, not this weekend here that just finished, but last weekend I went to visit a friend, and he had asked me about doing the wax ring on a toilet. He has a house built in the 1930s, and the wax ring was bad. So I said, "Yeah, we'll take care of that, no problem." Thought we were going to need a new flange there, but I got the toilet up, and surprisingly, the original flange in his house from 1930 was actually still good. So that made life a little easier. Toilet got in, everything's good. Well, as I've mentioned before, I'm in the South Jersey area, and we had a wicked little storm come through yesterday, and the roof on my house is about 11 years old. And around here in this area, a lot of the contractors, they like to use those shingles called timber lines when they re-roof. So I happen to have those on my house, and they're excellent shingles. Actually, I was just up there today to seal off some things. But as great as those shingles are, you still, when you have a roof on your house, you have to do maintenance on it if you want it to not leak. And I got a couple drips in my middle bedroom last night over in the corner as that heavy rain was coming through, and I opened up the attic just to see where it was, see if I could see where it was getting in at. And sure enough, I have an attic fan on the roof, and the sumbitch was getting through there and just running down the rafters and drip, drip, drip right on the, the last point, which is at the edge of the wall in that middle bedroom. So my mother works at a lumber yard. She lives with me. So before she went to work this morning, I wrote down some information. There's this product called Geocell Tripolymer, which is pretty good. Some of the professional roofers out there actually use it when they go to seal roofs for people's homes. And lumberyard where she works at, they don't have that, but they had some other stuff that was pretty much kind of like almost equivalent to it. So she brought me home some of that at lunchtime. Went up there, and sure enough, that attic fan had some exposed nail heads that were, the seal had worn away, so they needed to be resealed. So we took care of that. Chimney flashing looks good. There wasn't anything getting in there last night anyway. That was perfectly dry. So whatever nail heads I saw that were exposed or where the old stuff had worn away, I just put some new stuff on. That stuff comes in a tube. You just apply it the same way like if in a caulk gun. You just put it in your caulk gun and you can seal the nail heads. It makes it a lot easier than having to carry a bucket of tar up there and make a big mess on a roof that still has probably 60% of its life left. So I think those shingles are rated for 30 years. However, guys, never count on your shingles. I don't care if they say they're lifetime shingles, because that's the big thing nowadays. The shingles that were rated for 40 years last year, they're now calling them lifetime shingles. A roof is more than just a shingle. More than just a shingle. It's a system. So you have to consider your plywood, any protrusions. Roofers are, the big thing they like to push nowadays is, ventilation, ventilation. The house I lived in a crappy neighborhood with duplex houses, but you know what? They had big louvers on the side of them. The soffits were not ventilated. And the house I moved to when I was little, I was a baby. We moved there in the early 80s. I was a little guy. That roof was never touched. We lived there from 1982 to 2005. Had been patched. So it was old in 1982, and then by 2005 when we left, it looked like shit. However, not one drop of water in that damn house the entire time. The shed in the back leaked because that was one of those flat roofs, and the landlord was cheap there and only wanted to use roll roofing. I don't even mess with that stuff on my house. My garage roof is flat, and we did a rubber membrane system like they use on stores, so I can get 10, 12 years out of that, hopefully. But anyhow, that was my big dilemma for today, and I wanted to cut the grass one last time. So the mowers are doing well. I used a little red one today that's in a previous video. So anyhow, now that I bored you guys with all my stuff that I've been doing this weekend, you know, no new music CDs or anything. But I figured today, you know, we'd show a little bit about, you know, some movies and stuff that I like, TV shows. Yeah. For those that want to know, this is my favorite movie, Smokey and the Bandit. You some bitch. This here is a 3-pack. Calling it a 3-pack. This is the 1, 2, and 3 in here on 2 DVDs. This has the original sounds. I don't believe they have. There's some extra scenes in the first movie that get deleted, but they were on the television version that was censored. You know, where Buford said "scum bum." There was a couple of scenes. You can probably find them on YouTube or whatever, if you want. But there's, you know, the you know, scenes that were in the, I guess, the G-rated version or whatever. But those are your regular versions. They have the original sound. The cars have the original sound. This right here is the same thing, but I guess they did some kind of 5.1 surround sound or whatever. And I will tell you this, the car sounds are different. It sounds way different. Certain music playing, like Buford in the end, where where the car goes up in the air and he calls his son a pile of monkey nuts. That music sounds different. It's the same song, but in a different tone. And the car sounds no good in this. They actually sound better in this one. I like this sound better because it apparently I forget exactly what it was, but I had read somewhere where obviously a 400 cubic inch Pontiac engine for 1977 was not going to turn to 7,000 RPM. It would blow to shreds if you tried to do that. So those car sounds in that movie were pre-recorded tracks, and apparently it was like either a 327 Chevy or some. I had heard another story where somebody said it was a big block, but you know, regardless of what it was, the pre-recorded track sounded pretty damn good. So the car sounds were good in the original one, but the original one I think had mono sound. So I also wanted to show you guys about a TV series that I like too. I have some discs here. I'll show you. I got 4 seasons of this. Chips. Season 1, 2, 3, and 4. Those are the best ones. I mean, I'll be trying to find 5 and 6 at some point, but those are all good. I like those. Like that show, you know, they had all kinds of pre-recorded car tracks for that too. Obviously, as you notice, my taste in TV shows and movies is much like my taste in music. It's got to be like from the 70s or 80s or whatever. You know, there was just something, you know, people will go back and they'll try to pick apart, you know, different things, and oh, that's you know, not good special effects there, or oh, that car wouldn't sound like that. But you know what? They had just a special way about the way they did things back then that made the movies and television shows much better than the ones from today. You know, it's the old saying that I started a long time ago. I don't like reality TV because it's not, you know, it's not real. It's too fake. So that's my take on television today. And then, of course, like you said, the news. You know, I have my own political views, and we're going to try and shy away from political stuff here. But you know, I don't I have no use for those 24-hour news channels, and I'm not big on the house shows either. My mom likes to watch that channel with those house shows where they go in and they remodel an entire house in like half an hour. And, you know, the people have a gazillion-dollar budget, and they spend so much money doing the remodel that I doubt a bank would even give them enough money to buy a car after they get done. God forbid something goes wrong on those shows. I mean, it's so fake. I mean, you spend $1 million buying a house and fixing the kitchen and the bathroom up the way they want you to do it, with the stone countertop and the, you know, the open concept European design, that you wind up, you know, like I said, you're just at the point when all is said and done, you've spent so much money on it, on that trendy design in a house that you really can't afford, that you can't even go out and buy a car. Better hope your damn car don't take a crap on you. So, not big on those house shows either. So I like my old TV shows and my old movies. I picked up Matlock on DVD, first 4 seasons of that. Have all 8 seasons of The Cosby Show. I've got The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I'd love to find In the Heat of the Night, the show with Carol O'Connor and Anne-Marie Johnson and some of the other folks on there. I think Carol's son Hugh was on that show too, and Alan Altree and some of the others. Those are the kind of shows I like. I like the older shows. You know, they were done much better. Night Court, Cheers, that kind of stuff. So, you know, TV shows, movies, kind of just like my taste in music. I like the old stuff much better. No, I'm not a Star Wars guy. Obviously, I showed you Smokey and my Smokey and the Bandit movies. That was the movie from 1977 that I liked. And I also like Saturday Night Fever, too. Something about the Brooklyn, New York Italian attitude that it works just fine with me. I have no problem with that. I can relate a little bit. So, yeah, that's pretty much what's going on, guys. That's all I got for you this week. Hope the video wasn't too boring, and maybe you learned a little something about roofing. Obviously, if you can't do the roof repairs yourself or to seal it, you know, reseal stuff yourself, call in a professional. Don't ever hurt yourself or do anything stupid. You know, heights don't bother me. Home repair was actually my first job I had almost 21 years ago. So, you know, it is what it is. But be careful out there. Be safe. You know, don't attempt anything if you're not sure. Always, your life is number one. And we'll call it a wrap on the video there. And y'all have a goody-goody, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.